It was a winter afternoon. Like most winter afternoons, it was overcast, cloudy with a bit of rain. The wind blew and the leaves rustled on the sidewalk as Cece and her friend Elizabeth walked home from school. "It was nice walking this way for a change," Cece said, as the two strode along. Elizabeth smiled. "Thanks for going this way with me. I can't believe Brittany didn't show again today. She didn't call or anything." Cece rolled her eyes. "She probably skipped and went to the lake with Glenn." Elizabeth laughed. "You're probably right. All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow." The two parted ways, and Cece continued. She had just a few more blocks till she was home. As she walked along, she saw a small, scruffy dog pawing at something in the gutter. "Hey, little guy. What you after?" She crouched down and saw a bone stuck in a crack. Cece pried it loose, and the dog snatched it up and darted away towards the alley. The girl followed. "Hey, don't I at least get to pet you?" When she turned the corner, she saw the dog chewing on the bone at the feet of a boy sitting on a milk crate. He was wearing a gray hoodie and dirty jeans. He was tall and lanky, with white hair, crystal blue eyes, and a skull that seemed to be painted onto his face. "Hello," Cece said with a little surprise. "Is he your dog?" The boy looked at Cece with a puzzled expression. "Yeah." Cece smiled. "Can I pet him?" Still confused, the boy looked at Cece closely. "Sure. Are you not sad?" Cece giggled as she pet the dog. "Why would I be sad?" "I don't know. Everyone I meet is sad," replied the boy. Cece frowned. "Well, that's horrible. Maybe if you didn't have a skull on your face, people would be in a better mood around you. It's a little late for Halloween, you know." The boy shrugged. "I can't help it. It's part of me. I never met anyone that's been happy before." Cece turned to look up at the boy's face, so she could inspect the skull. She reached out and placed a timid hand upon his cheek. She attempted to smear what she had thought to be paint, but realized that it was his skin. She quickly dismissed the skull when her eyes met his. They were bright blue, and appeared to illuminate at certain angles. She became disoriented, and had to shake her head to clear her thoughts. She fumbled and stuttered for words. Your eyes, name, yeah. What's your name?" The boy smiled. "I don't think I have a name. I'm a Gemberling." "A what?" she replied. "A Gemberling. I was created to serve a purpose," replied the boy. "What purpose?" Cece inquired with a puzzled look. "I don't think you want to know," he said, as his eyes seemed to dim. Okay. So, what do people call you?" Cece asked, becoming more confused. The only person who's ever called me anything was my creator, and he only called me Gemberling," he said with hesitation. "That makes me sad. You need a name," Cece said before being interrupted by the boy. "No," he said, reaching out and grabbing her arm. "Never be sad. My heart couldn't take that." Cece was startled. "Why couldn't your heart take it? You just met me." Well, you're special. Your heart is special. My heart has no place to call home, and you made it feel something. It's never felt anything before," the boy said. "Hobo heart," Cece said with a smile. "Huh?" the boy asked, confused. "That's your name. The boy whose heart has no home, a hobo heart," Cece explained. "And now that you have a name, you and I can be friends." The boy smiled. Yeah, I like it. My name is Hobo Heart." "Okay. Well, I have to get home. You'll be here tomorrow so I can see you again, right?" asked Cece. "Yes, of course," said Hobo Heart with a smile. Cece continued her walk home, but not before looking over her shoulder one last time to inspect the mysterious boy. When she rounded the corner, he was still sitting there on his milk crate. He looked up and saw her, and his heartbeat began to quicken. You actually came back?" he asked with a smile. "Well, of course I did, silly. Now let's go do something besides sit here in the alley," Cece said as she blushed. "What could we do?" asked Hobo. "I don't know. Anything is better than sitting here," Cece said, pulling at Hobo's sleeve. "I know, let's go to the park." Hobo followed. Will there be people there? I'm sure, Cece said, laughing. Hobo followed reluctantly as he pulled his hood closer to his face. The scruffy dog picked up a bone and chased after them. When the two arrived at the park, it was full of people running about playing football, throwing frisbees, and playing on the equipment. The two walked over to the swings. So, what's your story? Cece asked. I don't have a story. I have a purpose. And that's all I know, Hobo answered. Well, what is this purpose you keep mentioning? Cece pried. Hobo looked to the ground and kicked a rock. I have duties I take care of to prevent something bad from happening. What do you mean? Cece asked. Hobo shook his head. I don't want to talk about it. As the two talked, Cece looked up and noticed most of the people had left the park, and it was very quiet. The people that were still there were by themselves. Hobo looked around. I need to be going. Wait! Do I get to see you tomorrow? Cece asked. No, Hobo said. There's something I have to do. Okay. How about the next day? She smiled as she asked. Hobo reached out and touched her blonde hair. If that's what you'd like. She took his hand and touched it to her face. It is. The 2 days passed, and just as he had said, he met with her. They decided to go for a walk to a nearby lake. The two spent several days like this, just talking, laughing, and enjoying being in one another's company. Time seemed to slip away as the two grew closer together. One day, after school, when she arrived at her usual meeting place, Hobo revealed that he had a surprise for her. He held out his hand, and she took it. Hey, wait, before we go, I want to give this to you, Cece said, as she reached into her pocket. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I was wondering if you would be my Valentine. She handed Hobo a small envelope. What is a Valentine? Hobo asked as he opened it. It was a hand-drawn picture of 2 hearts intertwined with the words, Be mine, above the drawing. And if you value your heart, you'll give it to me, written below. A Valentine is someone that you care for and would be willing to give your heart to because you know they'll protect it and care for you, she explained. So, on Valentine's Day, you want me to give you my heart? Hobo asked. Cece smiled. Well, only if you want to, you know. Deal, Hobo said as he hugged Cece. Now, let's get going. You're gonna love this. The two headed out towards the country, near the outskirts of town, and the small dog followed as always, wagging his tail. After walking a while in the woods, Hobo made Cece close her eyes. He took her hand and led the way for a few minutes, then stopped. Okay. Look, he said with joy. When she opened her eyes, before her was a massive tree on a hill. It was very old, and its many branches twisted and curved in dozens of different directions. The leaves were lush and bright, unlike all the trees surrounding it. The trunk was easily 15 feet in diameter. It was unlike any tree that she'd ever seen. The roots were more exposed than normal trees. They seemed to come from different points in the ground, almost like the tree was composed of several different trees, whose roots had become entangled and formed one massive growth. It's so beautiful. It seems very special, almost magical, Cece said in wonderment as she glanced at the tree. Cece stepped closer to Hobo. She lifted his hood off of his head and ran her fingers through his hair. His eyes widened as she moved in closer to kiss him. He pulled away. What's wrong? Haven't you ever kissed a girl before? Cece asked as she smiled. No, Hobo replied.